Hey everybody, welcome back to Mars. Alright, last episode, I said we would be doing a lot of odds and ends. And reviewing the footage, it doesn't need its own video. I'll review. Just so y'all don't have to sit through that. A lot of it was just programming and rerouting wire. So we got our weather monitoring back online. It is now hooked up in this room, this room, this room, and this room. No, I did not hook it up in this room. Not yet. And it's not in this room either. So yeah, I got it running again. I did a little bit of tuning of the programming. We added the table with this tablet. This tablet will not be used anywhere else because it's literally just for checking the plants and atmosphere in this room. Added some lockers. I added... Well, I redid the programming so that it's operating independently of each other. Well, not independently. There's one chip doing everything, but they operate on their own timers. So each of these is getting the exact amount of light it needs. Don't know why this line is growing poorly. All right, there's our chip. And for some reason, I'm not seeing my laptop. There it is. Hey, look at that. Our storm monitor is working. That will be hooked up to our suit eventually. Okay. So we have 4 timers, each incrementing by 1 after a full second. That's 2 yields. And then at each timer, we're turning the light on and turning the light off. It's fairly simple. We could increase the number of timers. I believe we could just about... Yeah, we could just about double it. Maybe not. But we're more limited by the number of registers that we have. So we could theoretically double it. But I'm more likely to have a separate timer for the back row. We've expanded. Well, we have better food now. Not by much, but by enough. I also did some experimentation with the evaporative cooling. And, well, it works. It works well. But you still need a lot of... I'm going to refine that a little bit in the background before I actually show you guys that. So... we didn't get the access point for the mass material storage setup yet. And I haven't gone mining yet. So I'll probably do that now, off screen, just to get it taken care of. The next step of sorry, I'm thinking as I go. I didn't actually plan this episode. I didn't plan to record today. I planned to edit today. And then I reviewed all of the footage and was like, this is just fucking boring. People don't want to watch this. Or at least I wouldn't want to watch this. Maybe someone out there would want to have watched what I had recorded. But it's probably never going to see the light of day. I just didn't like it. It wasn't technically bad. It's not... OBS didn't screw up this time. I just... Recording it is like it's... I could make a bunch of mini episodes out of this. Not one big episode. Yes, schizophrenic episode. Anywho, so we're at a point in time where we're going to need tier 3 metals. We're going to need tier 3 metals. Yeah. I can't really progress any further without it. We can't do the Larrys. We can't really do remote mining. I do not want to be going to every single mining point to replace a solar panel. So, what we have to do now is wait for the damn storm. Go mining a lot. Restock all of our core minerals. And make our tier 3 alloys. Or tier 2 alloys, rather. There's not 3 tiers of alloys. So that we can start doing the more advanced stuff. Okay. So, made some changes. And did a lot of mining. Not as much as it needs to be done, but a lot of it. Oops. Further changes made. Airlock, obviously.
Oxygen low. Oxygen critical. Low pressure. Pressure critical.
I am currently printing the pipes needed to add this to the gas network. So that we can start pressurizing this space. All of the pollutant is gone. So we're good to go on that. So yeah, that's the update. Back when the mining's done. Okay, I said I'd be back when the mining is done. And I decided to come back after I've got the warehouse integrated into the gas network. And I do. And it's fine. Working as it's intended. The silos appear to be working as intended. So, it is time to get the mining done. And with that... Okay, so OBS decided not to unpause itself when I hit the pause button to unpause it. Just to go over everything that I talked about while OBS was paused. I like survival games. I like the survival aspect of survival games. Some of them do it better than others. I really like what's it? Icarus. Because it does a very good job with the survival aspect of the game. I really like Stationeers because it is very, very complex. In fact, I think it's the most complex survival game I've ever played. However, sensor lenses trivialize the hardest aspect of this game, which is getting the resources you need to build your base. Even if you have miners, deep miners going, it takes a while for it to mine those resources. Sensor lenses, however, make it super easy for you to find everything very quickly and mine very large quantities of the ore that you're looking for. So, in Stationeers, I place an artificial limitation on myself due to the lack of research in the base game. They have, I believe there's a research mode that forces you to research to unlock tiers of technology. But the last time I looked at it was a while ago, and it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I'm probably, in the background, going to test run the research mode again, just to see if it works out. And then we can, next playthrough, I might use the research mode. Because I like the survival aspect of survival games. But the survival aspect of this game is kind of trivialized when you can immediately boost yourself up to tier 3. On resource gathering. Yeah, there's my spiel. I'm going to keep mining now. All right. With our upgrades made and our mining complete for now, we come to, well, personal upgrades. We come to the real purpose of today. Upgrading solar panels and building the materials we need for our first remote mining station. So, primary thing holding people back from building a mining station is power. At the moment, there's not a reliable way to transmit power over long distance. Sure, we have, we have power transmitters. There it is. Microwave power transmitter and a microwave power receiver. But they degrade over distance. And you can't have anything between the transmitter and the receiver. So I don't personally find them to be very reliable. On the other hand, solar panels work great. The problem with solar panels is, the problem with solar panels is that they're susceptible to storms. And, well, as you can hear in the background, we have a storm on the way. It's the heavy solar panels. The kit itself requires electrum and astroloy. Now, just one solar panel is fine. That's not too bad. But astroloy is expensive. But it just so happens I got about 100 right here. And we need... Oh. 40 solar panels. So this can do 10. No, 20. 20 solar panels. We don't need 40. We need 20. Let me do the math in my head. Each row out there requires 4. There are 10 rows. 40. So we need more astroloy. I'll be back when that's made. All right. 2 ingots, 100-gram ingots of astroloy. All right, so that's accounted for. Now we need copper. We got plenty of steel in there. No, we don't. We need another 100. There we go. We need 200 grams of electrum. 200 grams of electrum. And then we need copper. I think we're out of copper. That's 30. 475. Well, this'll do. Let's think about this for a second. 20 grams of copper. 200, 400. Four times 5 is 20. 2 times. We need 800 grams of copper. I have plenty of copper, though. That's 200 grams. 300 grams. And here's the other 400. All right. So, for each bank of solar panels, by bank I mean by 5 by 5 square, we need 20 of these, because each bank is 5 rows, and each row is 4 solar panels. This should be what we need once it's done. I just realized those are... That's better. I don't like the color yellow. Now, seeing as how the storm is over, we're going to repair these one more time, and then we'll never have to repair them again. You know, unless an explosion happens over here. Now, we could, theoretically, just put, like, windows. Like, put put them in a room of windows. The problem is that the windows would reduce the amount of power they would generate. And would have to use 3 times as much power. If this were a situation where we didn't have the ability to make these panels, say having to get all of our cobalt through trade, then that would be probably a worthwhile method of doing things. We would just have to, I think, triple the amount of solar panels, which is doable. It's not like it's not. But I would rather have less solar panels, not more. All right, that took freaking forever. 8 stacks of 5, 40. And I did my math wrong. I needed 600 astroloy, not 300. Or 200, or however much I said earlier. Point is, I didn't have enough, because I'm dumb. So I had to make more. That being said, let's get this show on the road. Now, we're going to have to make 2 adjustments. Well, 1 adjustment. First is to replace these. The second is to adjust our programming, because the programming is set up for these, not these. Oh, goodness me.
1, 2, 3.
So, we need more steel and more glass.
1,
All right.
3. 2, 3. 1, 1.
So each row requires 10 steel, or yeah, 10 steel and 10 pieces of glass. So we're going to start with that first batch just so that we can get that set done. And while we're here, we can go ahead and see about refining well, there's nothing really to refine. So, well, we can do this. That's what we're looking for. Setting it up this way in the future does it make it so you don't have to type nearly as much. And there they move.
Hydration critical.
And of course, food and hydration is going to crop up as soon as I'm doing something. It's always good to have some glass sheets on hand. And then we're just going to recycle these solar panels. Huzzah! We have everything we need. And as you can see,
1, 2, 3.
our efficiency is wavering between 99 and 100.
2, 3.
So these guys have just a little bit finer of a rotation than the regular solar panels. The regular solar panels could only ever maintain 99.
2, 3.
These guys can very easily hit 100% efficiency. But I wonder if we can improve that efficiency. Because as we established before, each yield is a tick. So if we remove the yield in this instance, not much. Now, is that efficiency that big of a difference in numbers? Short term, no. Long term, yeah, it can build up. A small difference in numbers can mean the difference between charging a battery in a day or 3 days. So, next upgrade are these batteries. Now, if we look, at a regular station battery, it has a power capacity of 3.6 megawatts. And then a large one has 9. It's not quite 3 times. So 3 regular station batteries are going to be able to store more power than 1 large station battery. However, it's fine. A large station battery is worth it, especially if you're trying to take up a smaller amount of space. I just like to use the large station batteries because it means less cable, so less headache. So, we need gold, electrum, silicon, and stellite. I believe there were 5 out there. Let me go double check that. Yes, there are 5. Okay. All right, so our power system has been upgraded. I will not have to make these, well, repair these ever again. We have also upgraded our batteries so that we have plenty of capacity for future expansions of the power system. We are producing 25 kilowatts of power. These batteries are sucking up quite a bit. .58 kilowatts, 25 kilowatts, 10 rows, 2.5 times 10 is 25. So, it adds up. Now, we talk about next steps. So, we need to start building or preparing to build our remote mining sites. We have two options. We have a deep miner and we have a combustion deep miner. Eventually, we will switch to combustion deep miner, but that's later. For now, we're going to start with a regular regular deep miner. 5 electrum, 10 invar, 5 constantan. We need more electrum to make it. Okay. So as I was saying, 2 deep miners per. That's how I do it. But we're going to find a conjunction of points. So the way the deep miner works is it drills down to the crust and it bores, well, it mines dirty ore from that portion of the surface. Now, each portion of the play area has different quantities of materials. A lot of them just have gold or iron, silicon, but a large portion of them have 2, maybe 3 different elements in there. So we want to find a good position that will tell us that'll have like different elements to maximize the station area. So 2 miners per mining station. 3 mining stations in an area. A silo for them to dump into. And then a loader to fill a backpack with ore. So I've looked at a bunch of different ways to do this. The most efficient way to get the ore from the miner back to base would be chutes. However, the distance is very cost prohibitive. Cost-effective way is to carry a bunch of backpacks. A bunch of hard mining backpacks. So those hard mining backpacks, they carry
Kind. Wonder. Kind.
7 times 4, 28, 56. 4, 8, 12, 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Wonder.
4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. 28 stacks each.
Wonder. Kind.
And our backpack can carry 14 of these backpacks. I had thoughts at one point in time of having crates on a car that you drive out there. But rovers are still buggy. They put them back in the game, but they're still a little buggy. They don't have good traction. So for now, backpacks it is. In your backpack. As for the layout of the station itself, so it's 2 miners, single station battery, and then 2 heavy solar panels. The 2 solar panels is literally all is needed to power those 2 miners. As long as just those 2 miners and the silo being powered. Silo and a stacker. So we need a platform for everything. Just frames. We need chutes. We need a silo, the 2 miners, and 2 heavy solar panels. So we got a storm going on right now.
Hunger caution.
But that's okay. Because we still need one other thing. We need a way to look at what ore is underneath. And I just realized we also need a beacon. So we're gonna print one of those out. We can carry this in our pocket as well. But this is a deep miner cartridge. So let's find ourselves a spot for a mining station. So, the Hesperian plane, that's cobalt. That's not super useful to us in current stage. So we're going to keep looking. There's iron. So we're going to see if we can find the closest point. I think we're stuck with this spot. Okay. So these miners can be placed down anywhere as long as the frame, as you can see it, is touching the ground. Okay. Done with that for now. We need to place our silo. And that's probably not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. So we're going to have to earn that. There?
One, two, three.
All right, that's set up. That'll sit for now. Now, which way is... That's north.
One, two, three. Three. One, two, three. One, three. Two, three. One, der Kind. One, der Kind. Wonder Kind.
Should have bought a second jetpack bottle.
Wonder Kind. Wonder Kind. Wonder Kind.
For some reason, I remember this requiring a lot more heavy cable.
Wonder Kind.
And so we can find it again. So, we need to come back. With one more stacker. Are you? Hmm. Well, I feel dumb. I misremembered. So 2 solar panels will power one of these miners and all of the accoutrements. Not 2. There we go. That should be enough power. All right, so we're gonna puzzle this out, and then I'll review it once I'm done. Because otherwise, you guys are gonna watch me for like probably hours. Because I'm not a very smart man. I'm a smart pig, not a smart man. Okay, so after much experimentation. There are 2 different ways to do this. The first is the automatic way, utilizing this valve. That's more complicated. The other way is the logic way, where it will only dispense when it's told to. So, here's how it works. When you plug in the chip, the first thing it does is it sets the loader's mode to logic. Checks this. First thing it does is make sure that the dispense is set to off. If it doesn't, for some stupid reason, it stays on and then just dumps everything that goes into it. Next, it sees if the loader is occupied in the recipient slot, which is slot 1. It's not, it just goes back to start. If it is occupied, that is, it checks how many free slots are in there. If there are no free slots, it goes to dispense, it dumps the backpack. That's it. Pretty simple. The only way for ore come through is if it's put into a backpack.
1, 2, 3.
Now the downside to this is there's no way at least with how I programmed it right now. We'll iterate on this later. There's no way to get items out of this. So say you put a backpack in there and it's got a free slot in it because there wasn't enough in the silo. Dump out. Not enough to fill up the backpack, which can hold 24. Well, that's a problem. The only way to pull it out is to use your drill and deconstruct this guy. And then all of a sudden, it just starts pouring out. So, you have a valve.
1, 1, 2, 3. 3.
Or you could just program in a way to make it dispense by hitting a specific lever
2, 3.
or a button. So anyways,
1,
that's our
3.
miner. There it is. Unfortunately, in order for it to operate with a beacon, it needs more power than this. This is sufficient panels on, say, the moon. But on the moon, these guys produce more power. Just realized my microphone was actually pretty far away from my face. So there's going to be a little bit of echo in that. But yeah, there is our deep miner. They produce 1 piece per. See the progress? It dumps out like 5 or 6 pieces each time. We have this stacker up here to make sure that this silo only fills up with full stacks of the ore. Now, admittedly, a combustion miner is probably going to do this faster. But we don't have the facilities to set up combustion miners yet. That will require us transporting fuel. It'll happen. Eventually. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this episode out now. We've done quite a bit. We upgraded our solar panel field, array, whatever you want to call it. Let's be consistent, it's an array. We upgraded our suit. We upgraded our batteries for the whole base. And we came out here and we built a miner. Next time, we come back, we're going to do one of 2 things. We're either going to set up the combustion centrifuges, or we're going to start experimenting with making water. If that makes any kind of sense. Either way, I'm going to probably continue to play in the background just to progress time so that I can do one or the other. The miner is going to require us to have some dirty ore to mess with. The other is going to require us to have corn, which is very likely more doable than making sure we have enough dirty ore to mess with it in the future, because at the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks. And while we have produced those 5 stacks in the time it took me to figure out the best way to program this, it's still going to take a little while for us to get the 24 stacks we need to fill a backpack. But hey, learning is fun. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you next time.